The Corbally Brothers, eldest Paul and his younger brother Kenneth, carved out a chilling legacy in Dublin's criminal underworld. Once petty car thieves in the notorious M50 gang, they ascended to power as drug traffickers and enforcers, amassing a reputation for unrestrained violence. Their lives, however, ended as brutally as they lived, gunned down in their Lexus on a suburban Dublin street. Welcome back to Crime Chronicles. Stay tuned as we look at the story of how two brothers rose to prominence, forged dangerous alliances, and ultimately fell victim to the treacherous world they had helped to build. The Corbally brothers began their criminal journey as teenagers in the M50 gang, a group notorious for high-speed car thefts and brazen escapes. With unmatched driving skills and an utter disregard for safety, Paul and Kenneth became essential to the gang's operations. They evaded police chases with ease, sometimes recklessly ramming pursuing vehicles. One such incident nearly killed an emergency response unit crew. By the mid-1990s, the Corballys had earned a reputation as the capital's most efficient getaway drivers. Their reckless style and growing infamy laid the groundwork for their later ventures into more serious crime. In 1997, the brothers' lives took a dramatic turn. A shooting at their home led to their father, Paddy Corbally, being sentenced to 7 years in prison for possessing a machine gun pistol. Facing arrest, Paul and Kenneth fled to Manchester in England, where they formed alliances with influential criminal figures, including Ballyfermot's drug kingpin, Sean Comerford. Comerford had fled Dublin in the mid-1990s, fearing attacks by vigilantes and scrutiny from the Criminal Assets Bureau. From Manchester, he orchestrated a massive heroin operation that funneled drugs back to Dublin. When Comerford was arrested in 1998 and sentenced to prison, the Corbally brothers assumed control of his operations. This marked the beginning of their rise as major players in the drug trade. When Comerford was released from prison, the Corbally brothers returned to Dublin, now seasoned criminals with significant underworld connections. They worked as Comerford's enforcers in Ballyfermot, collecting debts and carrying out violent attacks. Their preferred method of intimidation, slashing faces, became a feared trademark. By the early 2000s, the brothers had solidified their status as independent operators in the drug trade. Their violent methods ensured compliance from dealers and addicts alike. Paul Corbally, despite multiple convictions for larceny, assault, and armed robbery, continued to play a central role in their operations. In one of his more brazen crimes, Paul was arrested in 2001 with part of a double-barreled shotgun concealed in his trousers. Police also found balaclavas, fake beards, and stage makeup in the brothers' car, evidence of their meticulous planning for future crimes. As their power grew, the Corbally brothers diversified their criminal activities. They teamed up with a violent traveller crime boss known as the Wasp to carry out a series of ATM heists across Ireland. Using JCBs and heavy machinery, the gang ripped cash machines from walls in daring smash and grab raids. Over 2 years, these operations netted approximately €500,000, stretching police resources to the limit. The gang targeted towns across the Midlands and southeast coast of Ireland. Despite their success, tensions within the alliance began to simmer. The breaking point came when the Wasp conducted a heist independently, refusing to share the proceeds with the Corballys. This betrayal sparked a bitter feud, and when the brothers demanded their cut, the Wasp responded with threats, sending armed men to their home to warn them off. The Corbally brothers now found themselves in a dangerous position, being embroiled in feuds on multiple fronts. They were already at odds with another former ally from the M50 gang, now a bitter rival. At the same time, their conflict with the Wasp escalated into open warfare. The brothers retaliated by attacking one of the Wasp's properties, terrorizing a woman and children inside and stealing his car. Enraged, the Wasp vowed revenge. In a bizarre twist, he reported the car theft to police, signaling the depth of the rift within their alliance. These escalating conflicts left the Corbalys increasingly isolated. Despite warnings from the police that their lives were in danger, the brothers continued to operate as if they were untouchable. Police would eventually launch Operation Slope, targeting the Corbalys gang and their associates. Raids across Clondalkin resulted in multiple arrests, further destabilizing their criminal network. Weeks later, in June of 2010, the brothers would meet their violent end. On a busy suburban street in Neilstown, two gunmen ambushed their Lexus, riddling it with bullets. The killers rammed the Corbalys' Lexus with an Audi A6, disguised as a taxi, and then jumped from the car, firing on the pair. A 16-year-old boy in the back of the Lexus was lucky to escape with his life. The innocent teen recovered after being treated in hospital for wounds to his arm and torso. Paul and Kenneth Corbally died as they had lived, side by side and immersed in crime. The murder sent shockwaves through Dublin's underworld. Speculation about the culprits pointed to the Wasp, but some believed their longtime rival, Dero, had orchestrated the hit. Dero, along with Sean Comerford, the Wasp, and the Corbalys, all ran their Ballyfermot drugs operation without any tension for years. But all that changed after a fatal brawl in a pub car park, when associates of Sean Comerford and the Corbalys clashed with Dero in a brawl using bottles, broken glass, hurleys, knives, and one man was even seen wielding a hatchet by eyewitnesses. Dero himself is thought to have suffered minor injuries in the brawl. Then Dero survived an attempt on his life in West Dublin, which the Corbalys are believed to have been behind. Armed men chased but failed to shoot him on this occasion. Regardless of who pulled the strings, the Corbalys had overplayed their hand, making enemies of both former allies and powerful criminal factions. The Corbally Brothers' rise and fall highlight the brutal reality of Dublin's gangland scene. Their journey from petty car thieves to feared enforcers and drug traffickers was marked by reckless ambition, violent feuds, and betrayals. Their deaths underscore the precariousness of power in the criminal underworld, where alliances are fleeting and retribution is swift. For police and the communities affected by their crimes, the Corbally saga is a stark reminder of the ongoing battle against organised crime. Even in death, their influence lingers. Investigations into their murder have exposed the deep fractures and rivalries within Dublin's criminal networks. As law enforcement intensified its focus on figures like the Wasp and Dero, the Corbally brothers' demise signalled the beginning of a new chapter in the city's fight against gang violence. Thank you for joining us today on Crime Chronicles. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the channel with your friends.